Hey guys, welcome to another great EST video, and this time we've got a dollar store haul. I decided after I was at the dollar store previously and I saw a bunch of really good emergency stuff for dirt cheap, I'm like, hey, let's just buy everything that I find relevant in the entire store. So I think I spent about 20 bucks on this. So I mean, for 20 bucks you could get like one really bad cell phone solar charger. And I was watching another video on another channel and they were like, "Yeah, I got a really basic knife today. It's only $120." I'm like, "Okay, I think my entire bug out bag was like 200, including the bag." I like to keep it cheap. There is no sense in dropping, thousands of dollars unless you have it on emergency preparedness, especially if emergencies aren't that common in your area. We have a lot of so-called weather events in my area, so I did kind of focus on that a little bit. Oh, now first, little disclaimer, long shelf life foods, bottled water, duh, obvious, Band-Aids, come on. Basic medications, painkillers, antihistamines, that kind of stuff. Yeah, they have it. It's a little obvious I didn't go for it. And also, I do prefer to buy those in bulk, actually. So the number one thing in here is probably the window and door alarm for $1. I absolutely love these. They work great. They're usually over 100 decibels. There's a little magnet in there, so if it breaks contact, the metal strip bends over, and then boom, get about, I don't know, 100, 110 decibels in your face. And it'll wake you up. It'll make a burglar run away, and it'll definitely wake you if somebody's breaking into your house in case, power's out, looting starts. I don't know. Usually when the tornado comes through, we just have a cookout. There's not much looting, but you never know if things get really bad. But honestly, I've got these on all my doors and windows right now. I wouldn't even wait for an emergency situation. Just put them on now. If anybody breaks into anything, I'm going to wake up and they're going to hear it. So, and these are loud enough in some cases. If I accidentally set them off right directly in my face, they'll kind of stun you for a couple seconds. Like, you'll actually start seeing colors and stuff. It's that loud. So, pretty nasty stuff. I better move these or I'm going to hit these twice. So next up, we've got some nail polish, very durable stuff, and it glows in black light, also known as ultraviolet light, which does include moonlight, by the way. So in the dark, you would definitely see this, depending upon the status of the moon and the clouds in your area. But if you have an ultraviolet flashlight or just a really, really cheap, crappy LED flashlight that goes into the ultraviolet spectrum, I have some examples of that for not much over $1, you can just sweep it around and see this. It'll reflect really, really easily. And it's somewhat waterproof, pretty durable. I actually have one of these UV flashlight. It does laser pointer. It also does, oh, there it is, the UV right there. Yeah, my camera can pick it up just barely, so... then we got the regular flashlight. Very, very, very weak flashlight, by the way, but I got it for dirt cheap. So if I were to sweep my backyard with that, I would immediately see a marking. So it's like, oh, that's where something's hidden, or that's where we're supposed to meet, or, whatever. You could use it out in the woods. You could use it anywhere. It's just a nice signaling thing. Next up, we got just some basic kind of, airtight-ish cups that you could just put anything in. You could put seeds in to store them if you absolutely had to. It's just nice for, like, if you had to mix something together, some kind of cleaning solution, you clean it with vinegar or whatever, you wanted to make a basic sauce for cooking or whatever. These are just nice little throwaway ones because in an emergency scenario, water can become very important, so you might not be able to wash everything. So these are just nice. I mean, you get 10 of them for $1. That's not too bad. So along that same lines, we've got the party pack, which it wouldn't be much of a party if you're resorting to these, but if you can't trust the water because you think it might have been contaminated due to flooding or whatever, some kind of very large weather event, tornado, hurricane, whatever, or if just for some reason the water stops working, that is extremely uncommon. These are nice because you can just eat a meal with them and then toss them. You don't have to clean them. You might say, oh, but it's more durable to use a normal steel fork and knife, but then you got to wash them. So that means you got to use some amount of water, and that might not be the wisest. So I would have these sitting around even if you're not having a party. Another big thing is the glow sticks. These are just basic light. Get green ones if you can. That's just the best for low-level vision. People would argue and say it's red, but the luminosity of the red ones is not very good. So I went with yellow because it's what they had. It's a pretty bright color, I guess. But the human eye can see more, like, luminosity differences in green or something like that, so I would go with green or yellow for sure. And blue light is just a nightmare. Don't try to see in the dark with blue light. Then we got Mr. Plummer right here, which is actually only $1 because this is just basically a high pH detergent concentrate. I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world to make, believe it or not. This does kind of expire, especially the plastic here, that can kind of wear down, so do watch it. I would actually store this in a plastic bag just for safety in case it starts leaking. But the big thing is, okay, you have a plumbing problem. Oh, let's just run down the street to the hardware store or whatever and unclog the drains. Well, what if they're not open? Then you've got a clogged drain. You might have something backing up, flooding. I mean, you might have an entire sink taken out. Now you have to run to the other side of the house to do some basic cooking or whatever. It's just nasty. You want to have this on hand, especially for $1. Plus, it's just convenient in your daily life. I always like things that are relevant to your daily life instead of just useful in an emergency. Speaking of that, I would say these solar lights for $1 are actually pretty good. I got these ahead of time to test them because I don't trust solar things that cost $1, but I should have. These are actually better than the ones I got for $10 a piece, believe it or not. So they just spike into the ground. They got a basic solar panel on them. They got a basic lithium battery right there. Oh wow, this one doesn't have the pull tab. That's probably not good. Uh-oh. Watch that. But yeah, it's got maybe an 1/8 watt LED. It's pretty dark, but in absolute pitch blackness, it's something. And it's a really high pure white, like a 6500 Kelvin maybe. So I like these because, you know, they charge up in the sunlight. Then as soon as they don't see sunlight, they immediately turn on the LED. So around 8, 9 o'clock this time of year in my area, these will pop on. And unlike my much, much brighter ones that cost way more with a bigger battery, these will last until like at least 3 in the morning. I'm not even sure when they turn off. I went to sleep at some point. But the other ones, they turn off at like 11 or 12. I'm thinking, I'm still up at 11 or 12. Like if somebody breaks in, I'm going to see them, you know. So it's a deterrent. It's just, you know, shine this at your back door, your back window, whatever's dark, you know, even your front porch, whatever. It just got some basic light, which criminals know, you know, they like slinking around in the dark, especially if, you know, some kind of basic looting or, you know, low-level criminals are doing something because, oh, the power's out in your city for a couple days. It's nice to be the only house on the block lit up because it's just, which one would you avoid then? Plus then the door break alarms, very, very nice. Nice combo. You can get real secure for a couple dollars. So what are we, like $10 into this? That's not bad. The big one is something to do. In an emergency situation with a power outage, it's not very smart to just sit there staring at the wall with nothing to do and everything's out of batteries and everything's charging or whatever, or it's raining out, can't put a solar outside. And then you're just, I wonder if my friends are okay. I wonder if my family's okay. Oh, there's no cell signal. My cell's out of battery. The towers are off or all the power's out and can't charge my phone. There's going to be a lot of sitting there doing nothing. I mean, you never want to just do that because you don't feel like doing work or, you know, preparing your house or whatever. But at a certain point, you might run out of things to do. And when you do, that's when the real mental things set in. So something to occupy your mind and just kill boredom and keep your mind off of stressing. Very, very good thing to have around. Next up, we got bar soap. It's just a little bit more durable cleaning than liquid soap. A lot of people have resorted to liquid soap, but this is just nice for basically degreasing. Bar soap is really good at getting rid of oils and like hand residue, but it's also really good at just removing dirt because it has these molecules that surround it and then slip it off your hands. So if you're outside, you know, digging or working on something or doing construction, you're going to get real dirty, and these are nice to have, especially if you start running out of liquid soap, which is much, much worse at getting rid of a lot of these things. So, I mean, 2 bars for $1 is not bad. That could last you quite some time. Next up, coffee filters. I don't drink coffee. I don't own a coffee maker, but these are quite literally designed to let water through and nothing else. They're a basic water filter, and I would call them a pre-filter. So, you know, everybody says, oh, those Sawyer water filters can do, you know, 10,000 gallons or 1,000 gallons or whatever. Yeah, if the water's practically clean already. So if you're just scooping it out of some puddle or some pond or whatever, and you want to pre-filter it, they say, oh, run it through a bandana, a cotton, whatever. Okay, can you see the holes in this? Because I can see the holes through my bandana. This is just the best pre-filter that you can buy right here. I mean, unless you literally get a water pre-filter material, which would probably even resemble this is the next best thing for sure. So this will keep the particles out of your actual good water filter that filters like bacteria and stuff. Or even just in case of emergency, take dirty water, run it through this and just boil it and then just deal with it. So then you've gotten rid of, you know, nasty chunks, particles, and whatever else, contamination, and then you kill all the pathogens in it by boiling it and you're good. I'd still run through a filter if I could, but yeah, you always want to pre-filter it, even if it looks clean, if you want to get, you know, 10 times or more of the life out of your normal water filter. Next up, we got cotton balls. These are nice for, you know, just whatever. They're good for first aid, cleaning, all that stuff. But if you take petroleum jelly and rub it all on them, they make amazing fire starters for a lot cheaper than any kind of fire starting logs or, you know, anything you can get at the hardware store or the camping store or whatever. So that's the main use for these, is just fire starting fuel. And even without petroleum jelly on them, they get pretty flammable. Next up, we got just a basic airtight jar right here. It's probably not, you know, hermetically sealed or whatever, but it's on there. Oh, wow, that's actually pretty impressive. I mean, it hurt a little bit there. So this is nice. I use these right now, actually, in my daily life for storing seeds, especially dry beans from my garden. I dry them out in the sun for, you know, however many days it takes, and then just put them in here, keep them over the winter, and there you go. But even if you were to just cram like an onion in here, or maybe like a banana, you got to be careful though, because like I think bananas, potatoes, maybe cucumbers, they don't like to be in enclosed areas because I think they can trigger themselves to ripen more by releasing ethylene gas. So you got to be careful what you keep in here, but if you just wanted to, you popped open a bag of rice and want to keep the rest dry, well, there you go. It just keeps things out of oxygen, and in a survival scenario, oxygen is not your friend when it comes to a lot of different things. Now, I said I wasn't going to do, long shelf life foods and stuff, but this is a pound of pinto beans for $1. I think that even beats the bulk price when I buy them 10 pounds at a time. So, they look fine to me. I'm not sure if this is some worse brand or there's less nutrients or something, but to me, this is just a big old bag of pinto beans. So, that's actually pretty impressive that the dollar store at a lower quantity could beat the higher quantities. So maybe there's a bean quality difference. Bean experts weigh in the comment section. But yeah, I thought that's pretty good. They also have 1 pound of rice, but you can get that far cheaper if you buy them by the 25 or the 50. So next up we got SPF 15 chapstick. So if you're outside in the winter, outside in the summer, you might get sunburned. You're going to be out maybe more gathering firewood or hunting squirrels or, whatever you're doing. Depends on what disaster just went on. But this is just nice to have, just basic protection, because chapped lips get really annoying. They can get to bleeding. Anytime you got an open sore, it could get infected. And you can't go to the doctor. So just start with the basic, let's start at the beginning and prevent it from the first place. Next up, we got single-use super glues. So you got 4 of them for $1, and it's just enough to repair like 1 or 2 things each. And then you don't have to worry about it drying out or, oh yeah, I got super glue, and then, oh man, it dried over the last year. These are really nice. I love them. So, with you just doing more things, using more tools, because you're just in some kind of disaster scenario, you just tend to be doing more things, and that means you're probably breaking more things. So if you just needed to attach 2 things or repair a tool or whatever, this is a basic way to do it. Polyethylene glue would be a little bit better. This is just nice. A lot of plastic stuff can be fixed with this, and it cures really quickly. And also, hey, you could use it in your daily life, so dual purpose. I'm sure you saw this coming. Tea light candles, these burn for about 5 hours. I got 16 of them for $1, so not bad. Just emergency lighting. You could theoretically heat up and cook something on it. I've tried it. It's almost impossible to even get a cup of coffee going in a mug with like 4 of them, but I did put them on a cookie tray in my basement room and burned all 50 of them, and it actually did up the temperature in there a bit. So I guess emergency heating, but boy, it wouldn't be my first choice. It's more of a light source than a fire starter. And then finally we've got sealable sandwich bags. Very, very nice. You could keep any manner of thing in here and just keep water out. A big thing is, a tree came through my window or whatever, and now, it's raining and some things are getting wet. You might just take, your remote for your TV and your cell phone, whatever, put it in a bag, boom, waterproof, just like that. Basic waterproofing. And then also keep stuff fresh. You might be with or without refrigeration. Either way, you want to make food go longer, so just put it in a bag and there you go. I'm so glad the word bag came up in another video, because we in Wisconsin say bag. I don't know how the rest of you pronounce it, but we're saying it correctly, just saying. So that was right around 20 bucks worth. The one thing I was kind of disappointed by was they had 1 gallon things of bleach for $1, which that's really good for cleaning, killing mold. Mold becomes an issue really quick if your dehumidifier stops working because there's no power, or there's, water leak or whatever. Also, you can use I think it's 1 tablespoon per a whole bunch of gallons in emergency to sanitize water. It wouldn't be my first choice because I'm sure that tastes wonderful, but at that dilution, it's tolerable by the human organs, I guess. But really, just cleaning and mold killing, disinfecting, that kind of stuff. Can't really use it on yourself. You want to get isopropyl alcohol or peroxide for that. They commonly have those too at the dollar store, but I didn't see them because there's been a bit of a run on them in 2020. But I was going to get a gallon of bleach, and then I realized all of it was scented. You do not want scented. Do not try to sanitize water with scented bleach. That's not something you want to drink. And I thought, okay, scented has got to be more expensive than unscented. Wrong. Or I'm probably still right, but they didn't have it. Let's put it that way, so I didn't get it. Also, paper plates would be good, and, the really obvious stuff like, it'd be nice to have some paper towels in case of emergency for just basic whatever, fire starting, cleaning, that kind of stuff. So like I said, I left out the really basic stuff. Basic first aid and basic, food and drink, that's all pretty obvious. Even, some high shelf life foods, I did leave them out, even though I just threw them into the frame just for reference. But if you found something at your local dollar store that you thought, hey, this is a wonderful item, and hey, it's $1, leave it down in the comment section, and we can kind of crowdsource the ideal list of things to go shopping for. And do remember that every week, every month, whatever, the stuff tends to kind of cycle in, cycle out. A lot of it's seasonal. A lot of stuff like, forks and knives and candles, you can always count on them being there. But other items, they're kind of not there all the time. That's why most of the stuff here I've always seen there, but you can't really count on it because of how they source items. So there's a couple other really basic items you'll come across, like, oh, look at this, it'd be wonderful, look at that. But I wanted to cover the more weird stuff, so the more obscure things that you might not immediately think about. So if you got a $20 bill, I'd say, hey, take it to your local dollar store if you have one in your area, and just get equipped. I think this is a better way to start than $20 worth of almost anything else, really. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you out, or if you found it moderately entertaining or educational, and subscribe to the channel for more great important information that could save your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.